1964! 1 year later!
We're running out of time. Check the fornicator. Complicator.
Okay, I think we better hold it there, please. First positions again.
Oh, the great one! Check the fornicator! Yeah!
Verity.
I didn't realize it immediately. Just started laughing and then I lost it.
General de Gaulle. De Gaulle. No. We've really got something here. They love us.
Susan!
Wow. Very swish.
Do you like it? Gorgeous, Carol.
You should be more careful, sweetheart, throwing your money around like that. It's an insecure profession, you know. We should all bear that in mind.
I'll spend it how I like.
Oh! I got me.
Everyone mentions it.
I got me.
Sorry to see you go, son. So what's next for you?
I've been offered a passage to India.
One way?
Bill, I hope you never change.
Bill, come on.
Sure you won't stay?
Oh, come on.
Do some more with us?
Pastures new. It's been a bloody blast, Verity.
Couldn't have done it without you, darling. Shoulder to shoulder.
What the bloody hell? Hello, my darling. No one's irreplaceable, eh?
When are them Daleks coming back?
Daleks? They're taking over the ruddy world.
Well, it's what they do best, isn't it?
Oh! It's just an entire class. It's an entire class.
Come along, keep up.
Ah!
We must all get back to the TARDIS. What's this? What's this? Look out! Look out! Run! Run! Exterminate! Exterminate!
Yeah. This movie's fucking me up, man. Oh!
It's not too late, you know.
No, I've made up my mind.
They can rewrite this stuff in the shop.
It's time to move on, Bill. There's lots of other things I want to do.
Well, of course.
And there's more to life than just screaming at nasty monsters.
That's no way to talk about me.
This is the episode where she leaves, doesn't she? I think I know that outfit.
One day, I shall come back. Yes, I shall come back. Until then, there must be no regrets, no tears, no anxieties. Just go forward in all your beliefs and prove to me that I am not mistaken in mine. Goodbye, Susan. Goodbye, my dear.
Doesn't like farewells, does he?
I feel for him. I feel for her. I feel for everyone here.
Just stepping off for a minute, Warris.
And 1965.
It's time you thought about moving on, love.
Moving on.
You're shattered all the time.
I can't, even if I wanted to. They're all relying on me. Hundreds of people, aren't they? And all those kiddies out there. You can't have Doctor Who without Doctor Who, can you? Light years.
Yeah, William Hartnell had to leave due to health issues. But he didn't want to leave. Oh, he didn't want to leave, but he has to.
Our GP rang. Bill's not very well.
Oh dear. Nothing serious.
Not in the short term. It's arteriosclerosis. It's a hardening of the arteries.
I see. Do you think he should stop?
No. No, he couldn't bear that. He loves the programme. He's so proud of it, and all of you. You should hear him. But if there's anything you can do to lift the burden from his shoulders, you know, let him slow down a little.
Well, I'll have a quiet word with my successor.
Oh, I see.
Many light years from us, from Earth. And yet the Vortis planet hasn't a moon.
It's not doing too hard.
Since that day you first started telling me about Doctor Who, I've been spellbound.
Ladies and gentlemen, Verity. Best goddamn appointment I've ever made.
Not joining us?
Perhaps in a minute.
I'm in demand. It's all down to you.
Oh, nonsense.
In no small measure, Bill, Doctor Who has made me.
Why does it have to change? Why do things always have to change? Why can't we just go on as we are? You've got, Let me. Till we meet again.
It's the only one that remains from the original theme.
No, can't do that.
Beg pardon?
I'd have to move around to the other side. That's where the door switch is.
Does it matter?
Of course, it matters.
All right.
He's the only one
You move
that
where you like.
knows how everything goes.
I will. Cylinder should be going up and down. The ship is in flight.
Right. Yes. Sorry.
Out you go. I'll sort it myself.
He's feeling... It's not feeling too hot. Is he having... He's under all these lights and shit.
Okay, everyone ready? Ready now?
So,
10,
a lot of people dancing about in my eye line. It's very off-putting. Do you mind? Thank you.
Nobody's actually paying attention
No.
to him.
They've all gone. I can't.
Is everything okay?
I can't.
Are you all right?
I can't.
Mr. Hartnell? Mr. Hartnell?
6.
Annika, turn to me, love. Turn to me. Next, love.
Get used to this.
He's become so difficult to work with, and he's lying.
I hear you.
The poor man's worn out.
Yes.
Goddamn shit.
Well, we can't have Doctor Who without Doctor Who, can we?
Who has the idea? Who has the idea?
Graham Potter says the TARDIS will run out of petrol soon.
I need to take things a bit easier.
But I told him he was stupid. The TARDIS will go on and on forever because it's special and magic, like my Sampa. My Sampa's Doctor Who, and he can do anything.
Keep forgetting that this is just like a reenactment, and these people were not actually there.
Oh, Bill. Things can't go on the way they are.
Exactly, Sydney. I'm committed to Doctor Who, 100% committed. But
It's not that you're not committed, man. It's that
I need more time off.
you're human.
Bloody schedule would
You have
half
limits.
my age.
Everyone
All
needs.
those lines they give me, the kiddies don't want to hear all that waffle.
Everyone needs time off.
But perhaps it would be best.
Everyone
to
needs to
write
stop
down
at some
stuff
point.
Sort of sketched in the story and left me to make up the rest.
We're 100% committed too.
Very glad to hear it.
But we're looking at ways of refreshing it, regenerating it.
Well, yes, quite right. Spice things up a bit.
Bill.
I'm glad we're on the same wavelength anyway.
Oh, hell, Bill, there's no easy way of saying this. We want Doctor Who to go on,
Yes.
but not with you. Like you said, things have got to change.
I see. Patrick Troughton. Excellent choice.
Patrick Troughton.
I'm so sorry, Bill.
Fortune, good night. Smile once more. Turn thy wheel.
Huh?
King Lear. I did it once. Carried a spear. Long time ago. Long time ago.
The beginning. The beginning of the fucking movie. This was the reason why he was so in shock, not listening to anything. He was just thinking about this whole thing.
Are you okay?
The Doctor Who.
I'm sorry. Very sorry, officer.
You're in, aren't you?
Very sorry, officer.
You're Doctor Who. Wait till I tell the kids. They blooming love you.
I don't want to go. I don't want to go.
Here we are.
Well then, who's who?
The actor that they got to be the second Doctor doesn't really look.
You'll be fine. In fact, you'll be wonderful. I told them, there's only one man in England who can take over.
Oh? Couldn't they get him?
Doesn't really look a lot like Patrick Troughton. We're in a bit thin.
And roll to record in 15.
Steve Newman continued working at the BBC until 1967 when he returned to Canada. The Sunday Times reported that the British television would never be the same again. I'm gonna read all of this. Waris Hussein built a successful career in film and TV in Britain and America, including many further collaborations with Verity Lambert. That actor looked a lot alike. Verity Lambert became a legend in British broadcasting before her death in 2007. She did get to see the reboot of the show. Debilitated by his illness, William Hartnell secured only a few more acting roles before his retirement. He died in 1975, aged 67.
I want you to belong somewhere. To have roots of
That's
your
William
own.
Hartnell.
With David, you'll
That's
be able
William
to
Hartnell's
find those
voice.
roots. Live normally like any woman.
Actual William Hartnell.
Believe me, my dear, your future lies with David, and not with a silly old buffer like me. One day, I shall come back. Yes, I shall come back. Until then, there must be no regrets, no tears, no anxieties. Just go forward in all your beliefs, and prove to me that I am not mistaken in mine.
David Bradley, Rose Gurney Randall, Roger May, Sam Haarute, Charlie Camp, Brian Cox. Okay, sorry, there's a lot of people here that I need to learn the actual names of. A lot of actually good actors. That was, oh my god. Okay. I gotta talk about this movie. Jesus Christ. Okay. Ah. Oh God. Whew. So, oh my God, this movie. Is it even considered a movie or just a special? But this fucking thing that I just watched. Oh my God. Okay, so, I never watched this. Although I did know one thing going on, which was the Matt Smith cameo. And I almost forgot until it happened. And then I was like, oh. And it's like, it's not even like a huge, I mean, it is a huge cameo, but not really. Like, they don't dwell on it too much. And he doesn't say anything. He's just there. And he has his hands on the console, and it's just like, that's the same thing that William Hartnell was doing, and it's like, yeah, this is gonna keep going. This is the future, and it starts with you. And thank you for passing on the torch, or for starting this legacy that allowed this thing to keep living. You know, it's so great. But okay, Matt Smith aside. Oh my God, that was such a great thing. That was such a great little movie, little documentary drama, whatever the fuck that is. It was so great. It was so good because they really made you care about these people. They really did. At times, I I kind of said it. I don't know if it's gonna be in the final cut, but there were times when I was like, I forgot that I'm forgetting that I'm just watching like a reenactment, kind of what happened, rather than watching actual history. And part of it is like actual history, but also part of it is probably like somewhat romanticized for for this movie. But honestly, it's just it makes you care. It makes you care so much for all these people here, and God, you just feel so much. Like the direction of this thing was incredible. Like everything about this was incredible. The way this thing was made was precisely made for you to feel very strongly about what's happening. It's very dramatic. It really, really was. This thing was great. Fucking love an adventure in space and time. I fucking love it. Wow. Wow, I'm gonna go watch. I'm gonna go back and rewatch a couple of stuff that I watch of it, like a couple of moments, because oh my god. Okay, where do I even begin? I want to talk about a couple of stuff. So, at the very beginning, we have Mr. Sidney, and then we have Verity Lambert, and then we see how super stressed Verity Lambert is, and then we have Hussein. Where is Hussein? Yeah. And they're both just like super stressed out, and they are like, all right, let's stick together, we can do this. It's great. It begins this relationship, and it's like it's like the world, it's against them, so immediately it makes you care for them, right? You have William Hartnell, and he is so great. He's like really grumpy on like the first scene, right? Not the first, like the first chronological scene. And it's like, yeah, I don't know, I don't really feel him too much, but it seems immediately afterward, it's like, oh, okay, all right, I get this person a lot more now. And he was so good. He was so good. And not only, like, I'm not gonna praise William Hartnell for this, because he didn't act this. The person who actually acted this was David Bradley. This guy, David Bradley. He did fucking great. So good. This guy's so good. So, okay, and a couple of great stuff that happened. Like the design of the TARDIS, the fact that this guy just grabbed a bunch of shit and was like, all right, this is your spaceship. And Verity Lambert was like, huh, yeah, I can roll with this. And that's his TARDIS. That's how it came to be. The first draft of the first episode, Sidney didn't like it at all. He was just like, this is garbage. And honestly, he was kind of right, because they, like, Verity Lambert even said it. She was like, all right, I didn't get it. I didn't get what we should be doing with the character of the Doctor or the tone of the show. So we have to change it. We have to make it more lighthearted. And that was the right call, because everyone just started freaking out. And oh my god, that moment when she took the bus and there were just kids going around yelling, exterminate, exterminate. I was so happy, because at this point I'm so invested in these people making this episode, in Verity Lambert and Hussein. What is the first name? Waris Hussein. Sorry, Waris is a weird name. I'm so invested into these people making this thing. And everyone is just like, yeah. And I'm like, holy shit, they done it. They did it. Even though I know they did it. Like, I'm still super excited about the show. I'm watching it, and it's been over 50 years. I know that they did it. I know this was going to be a success. But actually watching the process, and then the moment when it happens, I'm like, yeah! Fuck yeah, dude! I was so good. I was so incredibly happy. Oh my god. And then we do get to see William Hartnell just like being so happy himself too, because he was really grumpy at first, because like no one was really getting what they were doing until it picked up and everyone was like, okay, we're doing this, and everyone was on the same page, and everyone started loving it, and the kids started loving it, and William Hartnell was like, oh, this is good. People like this. There's kids who just ask me for my autograph randomly, and he's just super happy. And like every scene that we see him, like halfway through the movie, it's just him being really happy and everyone also being really happy. But then it's like Waris Hussein has to leave. Like he goes on to do some other stuff, and then Verity Lambert leaves, and the Susan actress leaves. What is the name of the Susan actress? Because she looked a lot like Susan. She looked a fucking lot like Susan. Okay, so the actress that played Carol Ann Ford, which was Susan, was named Claudia Grant. She did a great job, and she looks a lot like Carol Ann Ford. Like, especially in that last scene when she leaves, I feel like. The moment everyone is so happy that things are working out, everyone working in the show, and William Hartnell himself. But then it's like his body is clearly wearing out. He has an illness. And he just keeps pushing himself because he loves the show so much. And he just doesn't want to disappoint all of these kids that just love watching it. They love the Doctor. They love Doctor Who. They love these weird alien things. They love the sci-fi. They love everything about these adventures. And he doesn't want them to end. So he just needs to keep going. But then he just sees how everyone around him leaves first, right? Like, again, like I said, Waris Hudson leaves, Verity Lambert leaves. Like, pretty much everyone from the original cast leaves, and you can mostly see it in the shots where, like, after like a time jump, where you see like 1964, 1965, 1966, and you would see everyone just like lining up and just people taking pictures of everyone just taking, like, doing a toast, right? And William Hartnell is just like, yeah. And he's like, yeah. And he's like, yeah. And then people just start disappearing gradually. And eventually it's just him and just two randos and no one else that he actually knows about. And he just leaves. And it's like, again, like he says, like, what does thing have to change? He doesn't want them to change. And it hurts so much because it's like he cares so much about this thing. And then the moment when everyone, like the floor manager, the producer, the director, nobody really knows what the fuck they're doing. Nobody really knows how the TARDIS works. Nobody really knows anything. And the Doctor, William Hartnell, same character, right? William Hartnell is just like, no, it's like this. We should do it like this. This is how it goes. This thing should be moving. And everyone's just like, all right, okay. And he's just like, God damn it. He's like very grumpy and he's like upset, but it's mostly because he's just sad. Everyone just left. And it's just him now. And he doesn't like it. Because he really did enjoy those times that everyone had together at the beginning, right? So, and then when we're reaching the end, when everyone was just like, we can't work with this guy anymore because he's too fucked. He's too fucked. Like, he's super ill. He shouldn't be working. Like, he seriously needs to take care of himself. He should take it easy. And this show really asks a lot out of the people working in it because it's such a big show. And basically he needs to be forced out at this point, and they do that, and he's so crushed. And like, he doesn't even think that would be the case when he goes to that meeting with Sydney, right? And he's just like, yeah, we need to change a couple of stuff. And he's like, yeah, we need to change. The show needs to regenerate. And he's like, yeah, I'm glad we're on the same wavelength. We need to change a couple of stuff. Maybe make it a little easier on me. And then he's just like, look, there is no easy way to say this, but we don't want you in the show. We want the show to keep going, but without you. And then he's like, oh. And it hits really hard the moment when he's just in his house and he just starts crying and being like, I don't want to go. Which also hurts an extra layer because Tennant, but ignoring Tennant, it hurts a lot because the acting was so fucking good. David Bradley, my boy David Bradley right here that I have on my monitor because I don't want to forget that name. That guy, he did an amazing job because you really feel for these characters, and particularly William Hartnell. You really feel for him. And that's not William Hartnell on screen. I have to keep remembering that. Reminding myself of that. That's David Bradley. And he did such a great job playing an actor. He's an actor playing an actor. It's like Inception. And there has to be like challenges coming with that thing. You're playing someone else, playing someone else, playing someone else. It's just fucking great. There was also that extended shot. Well, he has all the lights on him and he's kind of hurting and he's on the console and everyone's just going to start recording. And he's just like staring around and not saying anything. And people are like, are you okay? Are you okay, Mr. Hartnell? And then he just walks away. And it's such an extended moment. I don't know how it's going to be cut or if it's going to be in the final version, but it's like a full minute of him just being lost. And it's so, you know? So, that was so good. That was so good. And then it all culminates into that ending, that final scene when it's like he has to regenerate and like he really clearly doesn't want to let go of that role, but he has to. And again, going back to the Matt Smith cameo, that was such a great thing to do because it's not only like super. I said it kind of during the reaction. It was like this thing is kind of self-aware of what it is because it's a bio documentary thing, whatever, like a recreation of what actually happened. So it's kind of history and realistic, but at the same time, it has a lot of like small mentions and words and dialogues and whatever that reference the actual show and reference what Doctor Who is itself. And it's like it's self-aware of what it is. It's self-aware that what Doctor Who is now in now it's 2018, but this would have released in 2013. But yeah, it's super self-aware of what it is. And the culmination of that is when Matt Smith shows up for a second, and it's like it just gives that look of like, thank you. This was possible because of you, you know? The reason why I love that scene so much is because it's like the ultimate culmination of making something understandably emotional, but also catering to your fans, basically. Because that Matt Smith didn't need to be there. It really didn't. Like, that would have been a huge emotional scene regardless. It would have been such a great scene. It would have been such a great ending. And everyone would have just fucking cried their elbows out. And it would have been great. But the fact that Matt Smith shows up for a second, and it's just like, touches the console, and it's like, this is it. We're the same, and this was because of you. It's very like respectful. And that is the ultimate moment of this movie thing being like self-aware, super self-aware, and super punching the viewer in the face, being like, this is what you like, you like Doctor Who, bitch. And it's like, yeah, I do, yeah, fucking Of course, the ending just, the ending got me, and it's clear that should have been the ending, right? That's the thing. It absolutely should have been the ending. So there's no way it wouldn't have been it. So the moment it starts playing, I'm like, of fucking course that is how this movie is going to end. It has to. It absolutely has to. And like I said, I love that monologue. Is it really a monologue? It's a goodbye. It's this entire scene with the first Doctor saying goodbye to Susan. That I love that scene. I love that scene so much. God, this movie made me feel a lot for William Hartnell, despite this not being actually real, but also kind of real. Like, I don't know how much of this is fiction and how much of this is like reality, but I feel super involved in the tale of these people over here. And that's the thing, like, pretty much everyone here is dead now, except for Waris Hassan. I believe he's the only one who's just here. I mean, the only one who's still alive. I mean, yep. Waris Hassan. There's like a current picture of him now. God, that got me. That got me good. I don't know how much of that you could see in the reaction, but I mean, I wasn't crying, but you know when you feel like, alright, if there was one level above this, I would be crying. Right now, I'm like one level underneath that, I'm like tearing up, kind of. And it's okay, if I would have remained completely stoic, I wouldn't have cried or teared up, I guess. But the moment I started like doing this, like moving my cheeks a little bit and started like blinking a lot, that's when it's like, oh, there's some water there now. And I was like, God damn it, this movie thing is hitting me hard. It's so great. It was so well made. So well made. God. Fucking great. Alright, that was an adventure in space and time. Wow, that was emotional. That was great. That was super great. So, that should be I think it would be the intro to watching Doctor Who Series 8 and then 9 and 10, you know. Because I did watch The Day of the Doctor and The Time of the Doctor, and I even watched the 5-ish Doctors reboot. Fucking love the 5-ish Doctors reboot. If you ever never watched the 5-ish Doctors reboot, then go ahead and do it. Do it right now. Because it's a great comedy skit. It's fucking awesome. So, God. But the adventure in space and time, this was unbelievably great. I honestly didn't expect this to be as good as it was. It was so well made. It was just so well made. Thank you guys for watching this. I don't know when this is going to be airing in comparison to whatever else I'm going to be doing. But, yeah, whatever. See you guys later. Take care, okay?